Toastmaster fellows, dear people around the world, I very warmly would like to welcome you on our first 2021 IAD meeting. You would wonder what means AD. It's called, no, it's AC actually, after COVID has started. So it's actually called year one. Because I very much think that every one of you agrees in whatever situation he is now, that this year and actually all us will have the situation received that expecting. Thank you very much, Valeria, a life-changing and situation-changing, global experience-changing situation we are running through. So the very first Toastmaster St. Petersburg official meeting number one in the year 1 AC after COVID, I declare herewith open and wish everyone health and prosperity, no matter what the new and this new chapter in everyone's world might bring to you. I wish you a lot of adaptation, innovation, and improvisation to go through it. Herewith, I would like very warmly, first of all, say hello to all our guests who haven't joined us so far. I think it's more or less Alan and Shibek, if I remember. I can't see the name right now. Abhishek. And also Marina, who's our guest for a third time here right now. Apart from that, let's go and kick it off to I'm going to hand over to our Toastmaster of today, who is Konstantin. Konstantin, over to you.
Hello, Toastmasters, friends. Hello to everyone. Nice to meet you after the first meeting of 2021. And today, the topic of today's meeting is winter activities. I don't know what are you up to this usually, but as of me, my favorite winter activity is to ski on my snowboard. And if you have something else to tell about your activities, looking forward to hear about it. Also, we have one guest today, and it's Sriya. Let's say hi to Sriya, everyone. And hi Sriya. And what else in our today's program? Today we are going to have two speeches, one from Alan, one from Rami, and after that we are going to have a break. Then we will have table topics, evaluation, and sounds about right. So the first point on our agenda is going to be, let's hear about the evaluation team from Michael. So I'm giving the word back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Today, I will be the general evaluator and keeping track of the entire meeting of all the different people's responsibilities and jobs, taking notes, and at the end of the meeting, I will give some feedback to everyone as to what occurred during the meeting. In today's meeting, we know what the theme is, winter activities. I'm going to ask our grammarian, Randal, to tell us a little bit about what he's going to do and give us the word for today. Randal, would you explain, please?
Yes, thank you very much, President Michael. President Michael of the Rotary Club of St. Petersburg International, and currently our membership chair. I am the grammarian today, and I have a word of the day. So my responsibility as grammarian is to pay attention to what you're saying. I have to pay close attention and identify good uses of English grammar and areas for improvement with English grammar. It's actually a very challenging role because I get wrapped up by listening to what someone's saying and not the structure. So it's important that we learn this skill of how to listen to other people. And we have a word of the day, which I will share. Find it here. Okay, where did it go? This is exactly what happens when you want to share something. Look at it. Share.
I believe it's Floric.
No,
Frolic.
I have, the word is frolic, and I have a nice
Frolic.
little slide here for you, which is not sharing. Oh, is it sharing?
Yeah, it
see
is.
Yes, we can
It
see
is
it.
sharing. But you see my whole screen?
Yep.
Oh, yuck. Okay, let's see if we can put this on
Come on, roll with it.
full screen. Okay, we have a word of the day. Wonderful screen. There we go. So frolic. Frolic is an interesting word. I picked it because I think it fits the theme of the day, which is winter activities. And I associate winter activities with jumping in snow, and that's a form of frolicking. Frolic as a word can be both a verb and a noun. So I frolicked, he frolicked, they frolic. It means to play or move about in a cheerful and lively way. An example, Robert frolicked in the sand. Not today. Today he's frolicking in the snow. It also has a second meaning, which can be a little playful about being flirtatious. So they can be, frolicking in the woods together on a warm summer night. The example here, President Clinton denied allegations that he frolicked with his secretary, but we know that he did. He did. It can also be used as a noun. So frolicking is the way I would normally hear it, but even just the word frolics, his injuries were inflicted by the frolics of a young filly. That's something you might read from 100 years ago. A filly is a young horse. And of course, her poolside frolics, which has a bit of a sexual connotation. So we're not supposed to talk about that, so we won't. The objective of giving you a word of the day is that you try to use it in your speaking in our club today. And if you do use it, we will make a little sound or make a little sign acknowledging that you've used it, and I will count that as well. So please today try your best to speak English clearly and concisely. And if you don't be afraid of making any mistakes, and hopefully I can identify some to share with you at the end. Over to you, General Evaluator Michael.
Very good. Thank you very much. And today our timer is Walter, and he's going to be tracking the speeches and monitoring the time. Walter, can you tell us a little bit about your timekeeping?
Yes, thank you very much, Michael. My timer role consists of measuring the time everyone has for its particular slot. Due to the fact that we want to try to stick throughout agenda very tightly, we are obliged to have a particular time frame. Now, for you to make it easier to see if you're still on time or running out of it, there is an ample principle, and if you can see me as a timer, you can click on my screen and stick it when you speak, so that it enables you to much easier be orientated where you're staying at. And then you will see my picture transform into the green zone, which means the normal time amount left, a yellow zone, you should come to an end, and red, you are beyond what was applicable to your time slot.
Very good. Thank you, Walter. Appreciate the information. I'm going to have two evaluators who are going to speak later today, who are going to be evaluating the speeches. And we have Alexander, who is going to give the feedback on the second speech, which will be Rami's. And we have Valeria, who is going to be giving the speech on the first speaker, who is going to be Alan. So after our break, when we come back, we'll talk about the evaluators and I'll introduce them, but they will be evaluating individual speeches and giving feedback on that. We also have a table topic session. Now, because of shortage of people, I will be the table topics master also today. So I'll be giving some feedback on my own performance as we get to the end. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully it's all going to go fine. I believe that is all I have for the general evaluator, and I'll turn it back over to the Toastmaster of the day. Oh, I'm sorry. One more thing I left out. Excuse me. I forgot. We have one additional person. Today, Marina is going to join us, and she's going to be our owl counter today. Marina, can you tell us a little bit about what the owl counter does?
Yeah, sure. I'll be counting all the sounds and words, fillers, something that would make your speech not pleasant, I guess. But I'll try my best to count it all.
Very good. For those of you who don't know, Marina is a potential member, and we have sent her a form, and she's thinking about joining our group. So
I'm not thinking, I'm sure about it. I just need to
right, there you
do the
go.
paperwork.
That's what we want to hear. That's the words we want to
Thank
hear.
you.
So she's going to be our newest member very soon. So she's jumping in, taking part today, and we're very, very happy with that. All right,
Thank you.
that takes care of my duties for right now. I'll pass it back over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Michael. And now, so Randal introduced the word of the day. And the next item on our agenda is the first speech. The first speaker for today is Alan Akamba, who is our guest speaker from, what is the name of your club? Alan.
Optimum Pharma.
Okay, is it located in India, right?
In Moscow, Russia.
Oh, of course. Oh, sorry about it. But yeah, hopefully we will join you someday too in your club. And so Alan Akamba is going to tell us about the time he was insecure. And the title of the speech is A Time I Was Insecure. So Alan Akamba, A Time He Was Insecure, please.
Did you ever think that the gas you pump at the station may come from 40,000 feet underneath the Earth's surface? 40,000 feet is about 12 kilometers. Let me just quickly what I'm talking about. So here is an oil well, and this is the oil underneath the oil surface. To get to the oil, you have to drill and get down there. Now, this is something I did at the beginning of my career. You can see me here preparing a drill bit. That is the instrument we use to drill oil wells. And I'm wearing my safety hat here. Now, of course, this has nothing to do with Toastmasters. But the reason I'm talking about this is because when I started my career, I received the best mentorship I've ever had from this guy, Timothy Adams. Now, this is a man from Missouri, United States. And I started my career as a drilling engineer in oil and gas. I was sent to a 16-week paramilitary training to Montrose, Scotland. Now, the training was paramilitary because they could wake you up at any time. And it required a lot of electronics engineering, which I didn't have. I had been trained as a petroleum engineer. So I bought an audio recorder to record the lectures and go back home and listen to them. It was so hard, I was afraid to lose my job, and I would wake up very late in the night and call Tim Adams in Houston. We had a 6 hours difference, so I would call him very late, and he would tell me things like, I believe in you. This is the first time somebody ever believed in me more than I believed in myself. In the end, I pushed myself to the limit, and I was able to complete that training. And the lesson I learned from that mentorship was being industrious. In other words, working hard pays off. After the training, my first assignment was in Cape Town, South Africa. Cape Town, South Africa. I went there, I was eager to push my career, to drive my career, and move on in the ladder, in the company. Unfortunately, I didn't get along with my base manager, and that's what makes it interesting because Tim Adams was not formally my mentor, my supervisor. He lives in the States, but he saw something in me that I didn't see, and he would provide mentorship and give me advice. So one thing he told me at that point when I was not in very good terms with my supervisor was, hey, Alan, maybe you can write an email to the human resource director in Paris, France, and explain the situation. Well, I did. I followed his advice. And that was in my best interest. I'm sure he was trying to help. But what happened after that was a big blowback, a major boomerang. A lot of people were upset because it was a complaint email. And of course, it came back, rolling back on me, and it really, really hurt my career prospect in that company. What I learned from that was you don't always have to apply 100% of your mentor's advice or recommendations because he may not have the big picture in your circumstance, or what may be relevant or appropriate for him may not be to you. So you have to exercise good judgment and kind of filter the advice you receive. These two experiences have also taught me that I should be patient. In fact, dealing with my instructors in Montrose, Scotland, I already showed patience. I was able to speak to them and explain to them my problems. I was able to demonstrate patience also with my colleagues. Fast forward many years later, 2020, the pandemic, I was able to show a lot of patience towards my son, even though I divorced his mother. And now in 2021, as I'm embarking into a new relationship, I can feel how much patience I've been able to develop and show to people. In closing, I'd like to say that mentorship is something that will certainly help you grow in all aspects of your life, at work, private life, sports, everywhere. And before I finish, I would like to say a special thank you to Michael Wader. In December of last year, I reached out to Michael and I said, hey, Mike, I need a mentor. Could you dedicate some of your time to mentor me in the Toastmasters framework? Michael said, yeah, Alan, let's do it. Michael is incredible. He would reach out to me and ask me, hey, send me your speech information. And so he really brings out the very best in me. So thank you. So to finish, my call to you is, after this meeting, get out there, talk to someone in Toastmasters, especially the newcomers, and get a mentor. You're going to love it, and it's going to help you in your life, in your career, and with your friends. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Alan. Very nice speech. Do we need a short break, or we can go straight forward to our next speaker, Rami? I think we can go ahead, yeah. And our next speaker is Rami Saeed, who is our club's member, and he is going to tell us about who he is during his stay in in Dubai. He was having over thoughts about himself, and that's where his idea about the speech was born. And today Rami is going to tell about what he is. So Rami Saeed, who am I?
Thank you, Konstantin, Toastmasters. The speech title has been changed. It's Who Are We? And the idea is that we are all joined Toastmasters for a reason. We all at some point were going somewhere. We were going through a path, and then suddenly we've decided to make a change. We've not only decided to just do things in the air, but actually took action. We actually paid money. We put time, our time in the sessions, now listening, and also preparing before the sessions and getting ready. So we've put in everything there. There's a saying that goes, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So before you joined Toastmasters, you had a reason. You got a problem. You want a solution. That's why you took this action. So someone came with the idea of Toastmasters, you saw it somewhere, someone gave it to you and me, and there is a reason why you're here. And this is what I want to discuss with you. They say that a mistake on an operational level costs you 1 point. A mistake at a tactical level costs you 100 points. A mistake at a strategic level costs you 1,000 points. So when you have taken the decision to join Toastmasters and to be part of this system, you have made a tactical decision in your life. Essentially, what a tactical means is that you are going to change direction towards your strategy. For example, when you are doing actions every day, you're studying how to present better, how to be better in front of people. If you skip 1 day, you've lost 1 day. But if, for example, you choose the wrong system, the wrong skills, for example, like you shouldn't work on your presentation skills, but you should have worked on your sales skills, for example. That's what works for your strategy. A mistake on that level will cost you 100 points, which is essentially 3 months. But if you make a mistake on a strategic level, it's going to cost you 1,000 points, which means 3 years approximately. So how much time are you dedicating for your strategic thinking? How much time are you dedicating for your day-to-day life? A lot of us, me included, spend a lot of time in our day-to-day activities. I spend 10 hours a day, 15 hours a day, doing things that are daily tasks, small tasks. But when it comes to dedicating to time to think about my strategy, what is my purpose in life? Why am I here? Why am I choosing this strategy? I don't dedicate time. It's been so hard for me to dedicate 1 hour a day, 1 hour a day for my strategy to think if my direction is right. A strategy is a direction. So if I'm going this way and the right strategy for me is that way, no matter how much effort I run, no matter how fast I go to this direction, I'll never get to that right direction. So why do we never dedicate time to think about our strategy? We're all at a phase in our life where we are reconstructing, we're rethinking. But we are people of action. We tend to do rather than think. Like I changed my decisions very quickly. At one point, I was deciding to be a finance person. At another point, I was like deciding I want to become a business person. I do these tactical changes or these strategic changes very quickly. I don't spend time thinking about them. And that's the idea I want you to get out of. The most important reason in our life is the why and our direction. So how much time are we spending to get there? How to do it? There are many techniques. One of them, it's not the best one, but one of them is SWOT analysis. What does a SWOT analysis help you? How do you do it? So basically you look at yourself, you spend time every day looking at what are your strengths. You say that I am good in math. I am good in dealing with anything that's related to graphs. Okay, great. What is the thing that makes you passionate? Spend 12 hours a day. What made you not sleep? What do you love? These are questions that are very important for you to answer, and you need to get them answers. The other side is, what do you hate? What upsets you? What do you don't care about? You need to put these things. For example, for me, maybe it is meeting new people. Maybe it is I don't like selling. Okay, fine. Just write this down. Make sure that you build your strategy using these things, what you love and what you don't love, what you hate essentially, in that decision. Don't go after what people think is the hot thing right now, because these are all trends, but rather go on what you're good at. And this is something that I'm applying right now in my own life, and I've been doing over the last 3 months, let's say, and I've been struggling with, and it's a challenge. and it's not something easy. And I want to share this to all of you because a lot of you are going through this phase right now. And I want to emphasize the importance of this point. So again, it's very important to know that it's not what you do every day, it's rather your strategy that matters. It's your direction. It's where you're going. How much time are you dedicating for your strategy? And how much time are you dedicating to get to the right place? Thank you. Back to you, Konstantin.
Thank you, Rami. What a wonderful speech about life strategy. I will also review my life strategy this weekend, maybe tomorrow. Today, I do not have time already. So we do not have any third speakers for today, and I assume we can use some break for maybe 10 minutes. So right now it's
Hold on, Konstantin. We need to find out from Mr. Timer about our two speeches. Were they within the time? Because we normally find that out and put the vote up before we move into the put into the break. So.
Okay, my bad. So then the word goes to our Mr. President. And can you tell us, please, if the speakers was on time and everything was smooth?
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster. Thank you very much, Michael, for intervening here. I know it's been a while, so it's always interesting and frolic to see how a first meeting of every year takes place. So looking really forward to it. And also I want to point out that every time we use the word frolic, everyone needs to be active and needs to shake hands and applaud. There is a bit of interactivity we need to get used to in 2021 as well. Coming back to the times, thank you very much to Speaker 1 and Speaker 2, Alan and Rami. I'm very pleased to announce that Alan is on the green zone with 6 minutes and 14 and Rami with 6 minutes and 37. Both are eligible for the vote. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. So if everyone is eligible to be voted, I assume we can have a vote right now or later.
No.
I will share within a couple of seconds a link, which then everyone can click through to vote. Just stand by, please.
Nice.
And I'm just going to make a comment while Randal's doing that. You know, the folks in here, some of you are relatively new, and you're going to go through level 1, 2, and 3. When you get to level 3 and you've done your projects, you cannot pursue and go on to level 4 until you have done table topics, Toastmaster, and evaluation. So it's very important, like people like Konstantin, go through and get that experience as a Toastmaster of the day. I know Rami did it before we broke for Christmas. You need to get that out of the way. You need to try it and practice it. And what I recommend is that you do it in sections when you're level 3, and then try to do it again within a few meetings afterwards and improve on what you did the first time. But it is necessary for you to be a table topics master and also a Toastmaster today in order to move beyond level 3. Some folks are not aware of that.
Guys, we can vote now. The link is in the chat.
Okay. The voting in the chat?
Yep.
Okay, the voting is in the chat. If you will go in there and click on that voting, then you can, on the forma, then you can go in there and do your voting as to which one you feel did the best. We have Alan and Rami both.
Yep, done.
We'll give everyone a moment to do that.
Also, please be aware of the fact that both speakers receive a personal feedback. So get yourself to having 1 to 2 minutes and make sure that in the chat, please click on the name of speaker one, Alan, and Rami, and make sure you send them a direct message. This would be the same approach as we would do in an offline meeting as well. Offline, we have a small piece of paper coming in, but to have a personal feedback, what you liked and where you see an improvement as well. So take yourself the minute and the break. Konstantin will announce the break soon, and then make sure that every speaker receives his personal feedback from you as well in the chat. Just make sure that you click in the chat the very person and not all. Thanks for me. Back to the Toastmaster.
Thank you, Mr. President. And how do you call this? Just give me a second. Who's here? I hurriedly announced the break. And yeah, let's meet in 10 minutes. So now it's 2:41. Let's meet at 2:51. And you're also free to stay in the room and have a chit chat. Have our table topics. And our table topics master today is Michael, right? Michael,
yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Michael prepared for us table topics on our great topic, and I'm going to give him the word.
Today's table topics are going to be just a little bit different. Most of you in the club here, with the exception of maybe Marina, have been in Toastmasters for a while. If you have been paying attention as you go through the tutorials, when you're learning about table topics, it talks about improvisation. Improvisation is where you have to say yes and. Someone makes a sentence, someone makes a statement, and you have to finish it. You have to continue it going. Now, this is very, very practical skill when you're in business or sales or marketing, any of those types of things at work. Your boss is talking about something and he says, we're going to build a building, we're going to move this. What do you think? Uh-oh, you better be ready to say something. You better be ready to articulate what your opinion is without any preparation, without any background, without any way of knowing what the topic's going to be. Improvisation is a great, great skill when you're putting it in teams to come up with creative ideas. If you use improvisation in teams, it can lead to so many very good ideas. And it is one of the fastest growing topics that they are teaching now in MBA programs and in graduate programs at universities around the world. They're teaching improvisation because they're finding these executives need to know how to say yes and instead of yes but. Because too often when somebody else says something, we are the people who object and they say we should do this and we say yes but it talks too much or takes too long or we don't have the people. Yes but, yes but, yes but. Improvisation doesn't do that. Improvisation means you accept the statement made before you and you continue it. You don't try to reject it, you don't throw it away. So today I have 7 table topics. Each one of them is a sentence. I'm going to ask you to read the sentence, and then I'm going to ask you to complete it. Carry on this story, carry on this sentence for 1 to 2 minutes. Minimum 1 minute, maximum 2 minutes. So again, this is a little bit different than what we've done in other table topics. I want to ask you to read the sentence and then just continue on with it. A little bit more challenging for you. Okay, I'm going to take over the screen, I think, if I can. And of course, we have the wintertime in St. Petersburg. I hope you can see that. I don't know if you can or not. Let me move my people screen to the other side. I'm sure most of you recognize, if not all of you recognize, the Blood of Christ Church here in St. Petersburg, and the snow is falling. Today's theme was winter activities. So all 7 of the table topics have something to do with snow, cold weather, winter conditions, and you're going to have to try to come up with some creative, on the spot improvisation to continue the sentence going. There are 7 topics, 7 of them here. And I'm going to call on some people who are not active as a speaker so far today and ask them to participate. So to begin with, I'm going to ask first our district governor, Valeria. Valeria, will you pick a number from 1 through 7, please?
Sure, Michael. It's not that I'm an area governor, I'm an area director. We don't use the word governor anymore.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just in case. It's different in Rotary and Toastmasters. That's based on what I know. Now, number 4.
Number 4. Okay, let me get to number 4. 1 second. Number 4.
Ooh.
All right. So this, I'm going to reveal your question to you. I'll read it first, and so you can see what it is, and then I want you to read it and continue it. It was Saturday morning, and it was 18 C outside, and we had just had a snowstorm. My son was standing outside our house and shouting at me, "I want to go sled riding, but there is no hill." So I read the sentence first, and it'll help lead.
Oh, okay. So I have to read this. I thought I just
Read
need
the
to continue right now. Sorry.
Read the sentence and then continue it.
Oh, okay. Sorry. It was Saturday morning, minus 18 outside, and we had a snowstorm. My son was standing outside our house and shouting at me, "I want to go sled riding, but there is no hill." So, gosh, I hate it. So I said, "Hey, son, you know what? It's still winter outside, and you know, I hate snow, and you hate snow as well. So probably we don't really want to go sled riding, and we don't want to do any snowmen or any snow girls or anything like this in the snow. At least there's a well, actually, there's a huge snowstorm coming up right in 1 hour. So let us do something warm and cozy, and let us dream about being not here in this awful environment of minus almost 20 outside. What are we, in Siberia, or where are we? Let's just have a chat near the Christmas tree and have a wonderful dream of when those stupid COVID times finally come to its end, and we'll buy the tickets to somewhere like Thailand or the Maldives or somewhere else when there is no snow and there is no sled riding and there is no skiing and there is no skating. Because snow and winter, it's the hell. It's really hell. And I have no idea why are we living here in this snow and in this winter. So just dress up like we're somewhere on the beach, and oh, let's go swimming. We can actually have a wonderful bath, and I will make a wonderful, warm, cozy bath, and I put a palm tree near you, and I'll give you some sand to make a beach. So let's do some sun activities, some warm things, and just close our eyes, close the windows, and pretend that there is no winter outside. That was hard. Sorry, Michael. I hate snow, and I can't build up any activities on snow. I really hate winter. No idea what can I do in this
Very,
weather.
very, you did a good job. Thank you very, very much. Again, you did start talking, and once you got flowing, you were able to answer it well. It just had to get started, that's all. Okay, next one I'm going to call on. I'm going to call on our grammarian, Mr. Randal. You don't have a normal speaking job today, so I'm going to ask you to pick one of the numbers on the screen without being 4.
I really wish there was number 8 because that's lucky. So in the absence of 8, I guess I'll take 2.
Number 2. All right, let's see what number 2 is.
Michael, Randall, please give me 1 second for the brief interruption. Me being a timer, dear everyone, I want to point out that this section also will be the part for the evaluation of the best table topic impromptu speecher. So you have between 1 and 2 minutes, and also please don't forget to pin me, and then you will see when you are in the green, in the yellow, and in the red zone. There's a minimum requirement of 1 minute. So if you're less below, we can't consider you for having said enough. So just make sure you pin me and carry on. I will start pushing the timer once the person has read the slide from Michael. Thanks. Back to you, Randall.
Thank you very, very much.
Walter, can I just say that people, you might have to play around with your view settings so that you can, we can see you. So in the upper right of your Zoom, if you don't see all of the people like Walter, then you just have to select through so you can see him. I can see you now. That's why I'm saying this.
Okay. Mr. Randall, are you ready?
Mr. Michael, I'm ready.
All right. All right. A friend and I were spending a weekend in my father's dacha when a snowstorm happened. We had no electricity, no water, and no ride out of there until Monday. So please read it first.
Friend, it's actually a lady friend, and I were spending a weekend in my father's dacha when a snowstorm happened. My father wasn't there, which is an important point. We had no electricity, no water, and no ride out of there until Monday. So we frolicked. And you know what? We frolicked inside and outside. So being in the dacha with a snowstorm is not a bad thing if you're properly prepared and have the clothing for it. And we were well prepared. So we went for a walk through the forest where we frolicked a little bit while we were playing around inside between the fir trees, but we didn't stay out too long because of the weather, and we came back into the house. And then we took Michael's advice. Michael is my friend who suggested that in the cold winter days and nights in Russia, man's best friend can be not a dog, but actually a bottle of vodka. So we had 1 bottle of vodka, and we also had a couple of nice bottles of wine, and we had a fireplace, and we were well stocked with food. And so we stoked the fire, sat around the fire, made a nice meal, and just sat out the weather in perfect comfort. And that's what we did. Over to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Randall. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Let me go up my main slide and take care of number 2, which has been used. And oops, missed it. Sorry. I'm going to go to our friend, and I'm not quite sure of his name again, the young man who joined us from India. I can't see it on the screen right now to see where your name is. I have to remove some things in order to get there to see that. Is our young man from India still with us? No, he left us. Long, long gone.
I suggest you to go with Alan.
Alan already spoke. So I'm going to go with our Toastmaster of the day, Mr. Konstantin. Konstantin, pick a number from 1 to 7 without being 4 or 2.
Let it be 5.
Number 5. All right, let's see what number 5 is.
Okay, so I need to speak for 2 minutes, right?
Maximum 2, minimum 1. And Walter's screen will change color when you have gone through the times. All right, number 5. Yesterday, I was cross-country skiing, and the snow was falling. It was minus 16 degrees, and I was getting very tired. I saw a little girl with a lantern walking in the snow. So I stopped and I asked her, "Where are you going and why?" And she said, read the statement first.
Yesterday, I was cross-country skiing and the snow was falling. It was minus 16 and I was getting tired. I saw a little girl with a lingered walking in the snow. So I stopped to ask her where she was going and why. And she said, you know, I have a lantern in my hand. And this is probably the thing that you have no idea what is about. And I think it might be something that you keep with you, then you take with you, then you are going to heal, or maybe it's the part of some other winter sport. But anyway, you can have it, Konstantin. And I said, oh, thank you very much. I have never owned a lantern in my life, and it's such a cool thing to have. And so I moved alone. I went alone with the lantern, and I started to crawl in the sky while I was just. I started to crawling in the sky because it was my first. I was so excited having a new lantern in my hands, and I was just so amazed by the fact that some random girl gave it to me for free without anything. And yeah, let's call it a speech. Back to you.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. I know these questions are different and unusual, but I want you to think about how you're going to be able to speak when someone asks you a question and you have to respond. You have to give them an answer and you're unprepared for it. This is good preparation for yourself when you get into work. All right, we have another person who is not speaking much today. His role is not speaking, and that's Walter. I know, Walter, you're our timer, but Walter, I'd like for you to pick either 1, 3, 6, or 7. Number 2, 3?
3, please.
3. All right, number 3. Let's see what number 3 is. 1, 2, 3. All right, number 3. You're going to love this one. It was 7 a.m. on Saturday morning. It was minus 19 degrees outside, and we had snow last night. Usually, I go for a long walk or a run on Saturday morning. When I got downstairs and I walked outside, I said to myself, read the statement, please.
It was 7 a.m. Saturday morning, minus 19 outside, and we had a snow last night. Usually, I go for a long walk or run on a Saturday morning. When I go downstairs and walked outside, I said to myself, start. This is definitely going to be happening today. Then, because it was exactly the same what has happened last year. Due to the fact that I discovered last year the miracle person Wim Hof, who has taught me the Wim Hof method of ice showering, coming to Russia and realizing that there are a lot of crazy people who test not only their mental abilities in learning languages, but also challenge their biological and organical abilities by ice diving. I said to myself after several challenges, this is what I'm going to continue. Not only am I going to go outside, but I'm going to run outside and work out outside. And when I come back and take my daily cold shower, which is probably around 10 degrees or 5 degrees, logically enough that this will be very warm when I'm having this after the way I was outside at minus 19. So I'll definitely have a warm shower as always when running at minus 19. Thank you very much. Back to you, Michael.
Very good. Thank you, Walter. That was number 3. We have 2 left. If any of our people who were speaking or have a speaking role, our evaluator Alexander, or our 2 speakers, Rami or Ellen, would either one of you like to take a chance at this or take a number?
I'm going to take a chance.
All right, Ellen, what number would you like? 1, 6, or 7?
1.
Number 1. All right. Let's see what number 1 is. Oops, sorry about that. We'll just go down to number 1. And number 1. I was on a Russian train passing between 2 distant small villages, and the train broke down. There was a snowstorm outside and minus 25-degree weather, and it was getting dark outside. So I decided to...
I was on a Russian train passing between 2 distant small villages, and the train broke down. There was a snowstorm outside and minus 25 weather and getting dark outside. So I decided to do what I had always been wanting to do, which is visit the restaurant section. I had heard that in every Russian train, there was a place, there was a restaurant where you can actually go and have a meal, like in a real restaurant. As soon as I entered the place, I saw a middle-aged lady, and she asked me what I wanted. I said pilmeni, which is the only dish I knew at the time. And she said, no pilmeni yet. And I asked, okay, what do you have? With the little broken Russian language I knew I could speak at the time. And she showed me a menu that was all in Russian language. My Russian at the time was really bad. Basically, in the end, I could not understand her, and she could not understand me either. So I went back outside, out of the restaurant wagon, and I tried to get off the train, but there was a policeman. Back in the days, it used to be called militia. Nowadays, I think in Russian you call it politia. So he asked me, document. And I asked him, what does that mean? And he said, he showed me a square, and I understood he wanted to see my passport. And I was wondering, why would he want to see my passport if I'm trying to get off the train to the bush? Well, I had to comply. I showed him my passport, and he said also, niet. And I couldn't understand what he meant. Finally, I understood I could not leave the train. And this is what I'm going to tell you next time. Back to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. A little bit challenging for you.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can get out of this. Right now, I can't get out of it. There we go. Okay. And that was number 1. And I'm going to ask our newest member, Marina, I'm going to ask you to try this if you don't mind, and I'm going to pick one for you because I know what number 6 and 7 are, and I'm going to pick the one that I think is going to be best for you. So I'm going to get, if you're willing, I'm going to give you one. Is that okay?
Okay.
All right.
I trust you.
I'm going to give you number 7. I think you'll find it interesting. Let me get on the screen here. I'll read it first, and then you read it after I do. Recently, I saw this picture, and I asked myself, if I was that little girl, what would I say to the snowman? And my answer is, please read the statement.
Recently, when I saw this picture, I asked myself, if I was that little girl, what would I say to the snowman? And my answer was, hey, Mr. Snowman, let's go frolicking in the forest. And let's just get some fun and get some probably interesting activities like finding a hill and going down the hill, rolling down the hill, making more friends of a snowman, and probably we can even roll down to the closest village, and if in case we get hungry, we can ask some people to share tasty Russian food with us. That will keep us warm and will prolong our walk and all the frolicking activities. I think that's it.
Very good. Thank you very, very much. Good effort. Good effort. Good effort.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's not quite as easy as it normally is with everybody with table topics. I wanted to make it a little bit more difficult today to stretch our ability, to stretch our imagination. And just for everybody's information, I'll show you what number 6 was, the one that didn't get picked. And this is the one that I thought was the most intriguing. Recently, we had a heavy snowfall. The next day, I was outside when I saw something strange. A man was removing snow in the middle of a field. I asked him why, and he said. So it would have been a challenge for somebody to come up for a reason as to why is this man removing snow in the middle of a field. So I was waiting, but no one picked it. I was just curious how that was going to turn out. So as we go back to our beginning, where we were at, we had 6 participants, and I'm very happy with the results. Again, I want to challenge your ability. I want to move you forward in your Toastmasters career, and I want you to be able to do well in future table topics. This is something that I have learned very well. I've accelerated that. You know, I won the area table topic contest recently, and it was because I always volunteer for table topics, and I always try to challenge myself. And I think if you challenge yourself within Toastmasters, you're going to be much, much more successful. So with that, I'd like to call on our Mr. Timer and give us a timer report for our people who did this, please.
Thank you very much, Michael. A good hint, timing is the word of the day after frolicking around, probably. Let's make it short and crisp. First of all, Valeria, 155, green zone. Randal, 103, green zone. Konstantin, 116, green zone. Walter, 116, green zone. Ellen, 159 with us in the competition. And Marina, last but not least, 1 minute and 02 back in the game. So everyone is eligible. Ladies and gentlemen, make your thoughts and expect the link for the vote. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Walter. I appreciate that for giving us the feedback. And I do want to make an apology. When I was on my screen, I was only able to see 4 people on the side of my screen and not everybody. Elena, I did not see you. Otherwise, I would have called on you to take number 6. But I apologize. I did not see your picture on the screen. There was only a couple. I don't know if anybody else had that problem the same as I did with just a few.
Okay, I will participate next time.
That last one would have been a challenge. That would have been a difficult one. All right, so we have gone through those. Now we need to talk to our 2 evaluators for our speeches. The first evaluation is going to be on Rami, and that is going to be done by Alexander. Just a few words about Alexander. Alexander decided to change his career recently, went off for 3 or 4 months away from us, started something different, and is now back with us. We're very happy to have him back. So Alexander, would you please give us the feedback or the evaluation on Rami's presentation today?
Yeah, Rami was the second speaker, but yeah, let's start with this. Can we start when I say so, okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just prior words. So Rami, in your speech, you told about your methods to help yourself to understand more what you are. But I'd say that 3 ways that help me are discipline, physical discipline. So getting up early, having a good meal, not too sugary, not too fat, no shit. Okay, let's be real. Second is journaling. Actually, it's psychological thing, and even ancient Stoics. You remember the school of Stoicism of the ancient Greece. That was their plan. One of the main points was journaling. Just look it up. It really helps, in my case, at least. And the third one, you said that chase the things that you are interested in. This one is debatable. Look, my profession is Scandinavistics. So I study Scandinavian languages, Danish, a bit of Norwegian, a bit of Swedish, history, politics, geography, everything. But in the end, that's what I loved. But it's not a job that's gonna give you money. Yeah, you will feel good about yourself and everything, but you need money in our day and age. So not everything that you like is gonna give you money. And yeah, actually the fourth one, art. Try to write something, not just journaling. Prose, maybe some articles. Try to draw everything, because that's the creative way out. You have to be creative. Just look at what Jung, one of the main psychologists of the world, said about the ways your inner self can find a ways out. So journaling, art, creative, being creative. That's it. And now to your speech. You said to be harsh on you, but yeah, that's what I do. I'm a harsh judge. So you presented me points that you were interested in. So let's go after them. But prior to this, I have to say that you repeated your main points 4 times in a row, almost. Yeah, don't over repeat yourself. Beginning, yes, you make good points, and then in the end, you summarize everything just 2 times, not 4. So vocal variety was middling. Listen, yeah, it was good, but more vocal variety. It was all the same sounds. Eye contact was good. Maybe too good. I didn't feel like I was feeling being watched. Yeah, gestures very limited. You said that your hands are always moving. Yes, but when you're holding them right now like this for a minute, no, not good. Your hands didn't move natural. They were very calculated and not very precise. I understand that we have an online meeting and there are certain limitations to online meetings. Yes, but please, no locked hands. In psychology, it's also very unwelcome. Your closed body language. Audience engagement. That was one of the main points of your speech, actually. But I didn't feel like it. You asked 2 questions. How are we doing it, and how are we going to change it? Yeah, just 2 points. Nobody answered. And also, one of the main points, don't think too much, it's counterproductive. Yeah, I know it's right, Walter, I know I failed. But anyway, I want to give my report, and after this, I'll hear how I failed. So yeah, don't think too much. It's both about your speech and what you were talking about. You said that you think all the time, counterproductive. Because most of what we think is useless, absolutely useless. That's why we cannot sleep at night, because we overthink the useless thoughts from the day, from your past, from the future. Future is not yet here. Maybe future will not be. The past is useless. Just learn what you can and throw it away. At least try it, and it's kind of hard for me. Yeah, continue failing. Yeah, it's about me, Walter. Yes, humor. You didn't use humor at all. You said I should note it. No humor. You didn't seem very relaxed. Closed body language. Eyes on everyone. Not moving. Nothing. I thought about hands. You said we should use props. You didn't use props. No papers, as you said. You were to hold papers. No, you didn't. Pauses were very short. One of the main points. And speed. Yes, you were fast. You told us you were going to be fast, but it was faster than I even imagined. Pauses were like
please,
half
Alex.
a second. Yes, I know. That's it. I finished. Because I asked to start when I say so, but you already started.
Let's
Yeah,
roll
yeah,
it.
yeah. A giant fail, but well, at least I can say what I want. To judge how I should.
And let's now, Michael, you want to tell us something, but your mic is muted.
Alexander needs to stay within the timelines. It's
Yes,
club
I know.
requirements. And even though he wants to say more, he has to be disciplined to stay within the time limits. So
Yes.
he should cut it off.
At
All
the
right,
same time, I said,
we're going to go ahead and move to the next speaker. The next speaker is going to be Valeria. She's going to give us a feedback on Alan's presentation. Valeria, please.
Fellow Toastmasters, mentoring is a brain to pick, an ear to listen, and a push in the right direction. I love mentoring. It's an integral part of Toastmasters' educational system, and the concept of mentoring multiplied by personal stories opens new horizons to each and every one of us. So thank you very much, Alan, for opening this new door to us with your personal experience. Have you noticed how enthusiastic Alan was introducing his personal things and personal stories about mentoring on the way to the amateur, to the amateur, from the amateur to someone who is benefiting from the mentorship in all spheres of lives, personal, work, and Toastmasters. I really loved the voice and the gestures and the posture that you showed in your speech. That actually added lots of strong enthusiasm to your stories. And I also liked the lessons that you learned, that you showed them in a way we actually lived those lessons with you, beginning with the first one with this Missouri teacher, then to the Cape Town, and finally to Moscow to Toastmaster. So 3 stories in one speech. Wonderful job. What I would say you could do better to make your speech more perfect, if I put it so. You opened the speech with a wonderful question, an analogy, and I wondered, wow, a gas story. What does it have to do with mentoring? Almost nothing. That could have been such a wonderful loop to close your speech with something that could refer to this gas and petroleum metaphor or analogy. That could be a wonderful lockup of the whole thing. I would also advise to integrate a little bit more of Toastmaster stuff into the whole stories, to say that you learned 2 main things. You said, work hard and be patient. Why not draw parallels with those learning hard things and being patient in Toastmasters' life? Because the main topic of this speech was to show how Toastmasters envisions mentoring and how this could be reflected in your personal stories. So a little bit more parallels, and that would be of even more value to us, your audience. And the last but not least, when you introduced the 3rd story, that didn't look like a story. It looked like, oh, this is something I forgot. Here's Michael. Michael is my mentor. So it was something like out of the blue for me. So I said, before I finish, I will tell you something about Michael too. Michael is the core of your story. Well, I felt, and I would probably introduce him as part of this road map that you have chosen to show you how mentorship is inherited in your professional and personal life. All in all, to sum up, wonderful posture, great enthusiasm, wonderful vocal variety and gestures all together, great personal stories. Think more about looping the message using the central point, and probably more parallels for Toastmasters, since the aim of this project was to connect with Toastmasters specifically. Thank you. Looking forward for your next project.
Very good, Valeria. Thank you for your feedback. I appreciate that. So we have got our 2 evaluators who have spoken. We have got our table topics who have spoken. We need to do our voting on those folks. Timing, Walter, what's our timing on our 2 evaluators, please?
Our timing on our evaluators is fantastic today. One can tell it's been a while, probably being back attuned, but I need to raise awareness that due to respect of people who need to leave it, and everyone has his aspect, we need to try to stick, at least try to stick to the section we've been given. Cut a long story short, we've been with a maximum of 3 minutes for the evaluation. Alexander Chernov, 6 minutes and 37, and Valeria, 3 minutes and 34, both in the red zone. We can maybe win some time here. So I think we just evaluate the table topics. Let's keep this in mind and back to the agenda. Thank you very much.
Very good. Thank you very much, Walter. And again, one of the things that some people don't understand about Toastmasters is that it's trying to teach us, it says, teach us to be good leaders. And if we're building leaders like Toastmaster says we are, we need to get some discipline and follow the guidelines of timing restrictions that are upon us. Because if you have a job and you're talking to some executive and he says, tell me in the next 2 minutes what this is about, and you go on and on and on and on for 6 or 7 minutes, he's not going to be very happy, and neither are you. So we need to try and work on our discipline if we can. And we also need to be tolerant of people. We're not here to criticize or kill anybody. We need to be tolerant. We need to try to get along and understand. So people will run over, people will make mistakes, and we learn from our mistakes. Anybody who thinks they never made a mistake, they're lying. We all made mistakes. Hopefully we are going to learn from those mistakes, and hopefully we'll improve our performance in the past. So I agree, both of our evaluators today were beyond our time limit, so we won't have an evaluation, won't have a voting on the evaluators. We can vote on our table topics. Randall, do you have the voting for the table topics available?
Already done, already done. Everything's been passed to Toastmaster of the day, Konstantin, so he can present the presentation.
Very good. Marina, what can you give us a little bit of feedback about our counter?
I was trying to share a file with you, but how do you usually do this? It's just a lot of numbers.
Yeah, you can just read them or show them. In this case here today, if you're struggling with the online, just go ahead and read the numbers.
Oh, okay. I think great job to all the speakers. I found that you guys were very controlling your speech, and there were not so many words, sounds or words that fillers. So that was very nice to hear. I noticed that some of the people were repeating words like very, very, or pretty, pretty. So I'm not sure if it's some kind of filler or it's okay to do these things. So kind of emphasize certain words or sentences, but I also noted those. Other than that, I think you can just, I put my numbers in the Excel table and I just shared it in the comment chat with you.
Okay. Very good. I want to thank you for agreeing to do this today as a new member of our club. You're going to be our newest member, and we appreciate you volunteering to step in and help out. This is always very, very helpful.
Thank you.
Mr. Grammarian, how did we do with our language?
Well, thank you. I'm trying to think of your role today. General evaluator and table topic master of the day, Michael. You all did fantastic, or fantastically. You did fantastically. I am amazed at the level of English aptitude of all of the members of our club. It's extremely strong. And so it made my job really difficult, and it required me to be nitpicking, to find little tiny points to improve. First of all, I should say frolicking. Marina, I think today we had about 12 uses of the word. I found Marina's the best, and then she used it the most frequently, aside from me. It's my word, so I own it. And Marina said, let's go frolicking in the forest. I loved it. I loved it. Now, on to some expressions that have a little bit of room for improvement. Alan said, big picture in your circumstance, and it would be better to say big picture of your circumstance or your circumstances. Rami said my pet peeve word, the word I hate the most, which usually it's Walter, but today it was Rami, and Rami said wanna. You can say wanna all you want when you're frolicking in the forest with your boy or girlfriend, but in proper speech, we should say I want to. And Michael, you actually, I was amazed I could find something to critique Michael today. He said gonna, and he said it twice. So we don't want to say wanna, we want to say want to, don't want to say gonna, so we want to say going to. Valeria said, do any snowmen's, something like that. And it's, oh no, so Marina said snowmans, and she should say snowmen. Walter said frolic. Alan said, I had to call it quit. And we had the expression, Alan, is I had to call it quits with an S. The tiniest of points to improve. And Rami did one more thing. He started the sentence saying, like I da 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 da. And that didn't really come across well in a prepared speech. We wouldn't start a sentence with saying like I da da da. We would put something in the head of it, like for example, I, or for instance, I. Tiny point for improvement. Valeria had a wonderful expression, a brain to pick, one of my favorites. And Alan said, my call to you today is da 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 da, which was a really nice way to inspire us, to draw us in and inspire us to do something. Over to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day, or sorry, over to you, Michael, as our general evaluator of the day. That's the end of my report. Michael, you got to unmute.
You're frolicking in the forest again when you got lost, which is normal for you. We have a quiz master. We should have a quiz master, which we normally have, but we don't have one today on the list. We do? Who is the quiz master on today? Oh, Walter says he's a quiz master. I'm looking at the agenda, and the agenda doesn't say anything. No problem. You got about 2 minutes, Walter. Jump right in and ask your questions as a quiz master. We'll see if people paid attention.
Thank you very much, Michael. Quizmaster of the day, a brief introduction. I am so much going to ask you some questions which have been asked actually by all contributors of today's meeting, and you are willing, obliged, pressured, forced to warm up your hands right now, move a little bit, making sure we're not falling asleep, and type into the chat the answer of the very question comes into your mind. If it's the right one, you get 1 point. You can't win, nothing, no wrong expectations in 2021. Ready to rumble, off you go. Question number 1 from me is according to Alan. Alan said he has a profession. And what is Alan's profession when he started to kick off his career? Yeah, there we go. Rami, petroleum engineer. Yes, no, not entrepreneur. I think it's a drilling or petroleum engineer. I think that is definitely correct, and very well done you. Next one. Which club is Alan joining us from? Randal is correct with Optima Forma, which is located in Moscow and nowhere else. Number 3, still Alan. Who is Alan's mentor? Yeah, thank you very much. Marina, fast are you? Fantastic. Let's go ahead. Going forward to Rami. Rami mentioned a particular word, a particular technique, which is very good to plan your life, career, next steps. What is it? Yes, it is SWOT. Strength, weakness, optimization. I don't know the other two.
Opportunities
very well
and threats.
Done you. Say it again.
Strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
Threats. There we go. What word is Konstantin constantly using instead of frolic? Type it down. Almost. Floric. Yes, very well. Always reminds me on flowers, but it's bloody frolic. It's German. Fröhlich. The dogs are fröhlich. And he's reminding me on the floor. Very good. Which year are we currently in, according to Walter's accounting? Type it in. Alex, almost. Almost.
No.
Yes, Michael Wader. Number year after COVID. Very well done, you. Now, last but not least, what does Valeria hate most? Yes, Marina, you're doing something with accounting. I think your fingers are so fast, unbelievable. Thank you very much, dear folks. That's from me. Back to the Toastmaster. Give ourselves a round of applause. So wake up and don't freeze with -25.
Walter, it was amazing quiz, and I really enjoyed it a lot. Guys, today we have had 2 speeches, and also we had 7 little small speeches on the what's wrong?
Michael has to give his report still.
Yeah, I still got to give my report. I'm going to keep it short.
The general evaluator.
General evaluator's report.
You want to finish your report before I will give the I will grant the awards or after?
Yes. Yeah. Awards is the last thing before you close. You're doing fine. You're doing fine.
I'm sorry.
Okay. That's right.
Okay.
General evaluation. We started at 4:11 on my clock, so 11 minutes after. That's a little bit later than we had planned. We need to do a little bit better on that. I highly recommend for you folks to become just a little bit more professional in Toastmasters and plan on arriving 10 to 15 minutes early. If you can, please try to come a little bit early so that you can check your microphone, check your video, and get on screen so we can start on time. We only had 4 people online at 2 o'clock. That's all, only 4. The rest of you joined afterwards. So we need to try to be on time. Today was the first time for Konstantin to be Toastmaster of the day. He found his way through it. He was successful. He completed it. So he did a good job with it. It's just going to take some time. Konstantin, practice. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's going to take you some practice in order to do it better. And I recommend that within the next month or 2, you volunteer to be the Toastmasters again, and then think about what you did here and what you're going to do better next time. I'm sure you're going to be capable of doing that. With both of our evaluators, they both ran overtime today. I ask, please in the future, try to be in time. I know you have a lot to say. I have a hard time too. When I'm an evaluator, I can only say about 1/4 of what I want to say because that's all the time allows me. Unfortunately, I got to put the right information in there. So I know it's a difficult time to squeeze it all inside of that. Randall, thank you for the word frolicking, all those things. Everybody was frolicking in the woods and frolicking in the houses and frolicking here on screen. So thank you very much for that. For our 2 speakers, I thought both of our speakers did okay. I think you guys can do better. I'm sure you're going to improve based on the feedback that you're going to get from your 2 evaluators. You're progressing. That's what's important, is keep moving forward. And you're doing that. And I would highly recommend that to the other people in the club who have not spoken for a while. Volunteer to give a speech. Move forward. Don't be stuck in one place for 4 or 5 months. We have opportunities for more people to speak. Today, we could have had 3 scheduled. We only took 2. So we need to try to get more people speaking to get more experience here in our sessions that we have online. We voted. People gave their appraisal as to what they thought, who was the best. And I think we're going to find out shortly. I'm cutting.
So guys, today we have had 2 speakers. They both were awesome. No word about it, but the one was a little bit better. And let me share my screen and present to you the winner. And the winner today is, hold on a second, it's table topics. And the winner and the best speaker today is Rami Saeed. Congratulations. Congrats to you, Rami. You're the best today. But it's not all with the words we also have had a little contest of table topics, and we have had 7 participants. 7. It's not only 2, it's 7. It's so many people. It's only how many? Maybe 16-17% of win in this one. It's not 50-50. And a round of drums again. The best is Alan Akamba. Congratulations to you, Alan. How many days have you spent in our club and you're already the winner? So another reason to visit our club. You can feel better about yourself. Not because we are so bad, but because you just got lucky today. Okay, guys, we can wrap it up today, I guess. Have you enjoyed the meeting today?
Absolutely.
Me too.
Konstantin, turn it back over to Walter.
And turning it back to Walter.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day. Let's please everyone give a warm applause. It's always challenging to have a first Toastmaster role. Everyone was there, everyone's going to be there. Thank you very much, Konstantin, for guiding us through today. Wrapping everything up, some members have left already. This is due to the fact they announced me they need to leave, as Valeria as well from Optima Forma. Thank you very much, first of all, to our guests who visited us today. Thank you very much, Alan, for speaking to our club. I will respond to your chat. I just can't follow up, and definitely we should connect, and you can find me in our group and everywhere else. Marina, I've just written to you that I can provide you the number from our treasurer to transfer the fee. Nevertheless, we would need the membership form from you to create the official account for you. Yeah. Apart from that, I would like to thank everyone, and just to mention that it was a frolicking session from my very perspective, due to the fact that it's the first one after a long year of changes, and definitely after a long while being back in the standard procedure and modus operandum, even of an organized meeting. And I think that reminds us that a regular training, even in those aspects, is always required to keep its status of organization, and even a Zoom session and all nitty-gritty stuff as the timing going. I think we've done well today, and looking forward for the next session. Some questions were raised in terms of how are going to be performing our sessions in terms of online or offline. I will not declare any offline meetings at all so far, due to the sheer fact that officially the figures in COVID times are about 168% risen. In my very close family, there have been cases of COVID, as well as some deadly ones. So I will not go for the risk of officially allowing the group to meet in the library and so forth. Due to my subjective perspective, the risk is just not weighing the added value here. So we're going to stay online with this group for, I think, probably June, July, as the officials suggested. Whatever you do in your private life, if we can catch up for a coffee or something, that's totally up to you, but it should not be considered to the official gathering. This is just the statement on the organizational status. Apart from that, I welcome you everyone for your contribution, obviously, and it's always great to see people growing. If you have any questions or chit chat, I herewith declare the meeting as closed. I'm going to stay around for another 10 minutes, and every one of you is also welcome to do so. So if you want to have some big round of applause to stay warm, I'm not sure if it's as cold in my flat as in yours, and open for comments from our guests and everyone else who wants to. Thank you very much.